All right. So are you ready to dive deep into Cisco Systems today?
Definitely.
You know, the company behind all those routers and switches that keep the internet going?
Right.
We've got a recent analyst report here, and to be honest, it's pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Cisco's kind of at a crossroads,
Uh-huh.
showing signs of strength and some signs of weakness, kind of all at the same time.
Yeah.
Declining revenue, but record-breaking profit margins.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we want to try to figure out.
Yeah.
Is this a stock that you should add to your portfolio
Right.
or one you should avoid?
Definitely a good question.
So what do you think? What's your
Whew.
first impression?
Well, I think it's definitely a puzzle, but I think we can put the pieces together.
Okay.
Let's kind of start with just the basics, the lay of the land.
Sure.
So Cisco's stock right now is currently trading at $58.74.
Okay.
And it's had a 52-week range between $44.50 and $59.38.
Bye.
So that's a market cap of almost $234 billion,
Wow.
which is massive.
Huge.
But it's their revenue that really caught my eye.
Okay.
It's down 6%, which isn't great on the surface,
Right.
but their non-GAAP gross margin hit 69.3%.
Wow.
That's the highest it's been in over 20 years.
So they're making less money overall, but a bigger chunk of what they are making is pure profit.
Yeah, you could say that.
Pretty counterintuitive. How do they do that? What's the secret there?
Well, the analyst report highlights Cisco's, financial discipline as a key factor.
Okay.
It seems like they're really laser focused on keeping costs down and prioritizing those high margin products.
Right.
And you see, in the world of investing, one of the first things you want to look at is a company's economic moat.
Okay.
Think of it as like their competitive defense system.
I like that.
What keeps rivals from kind of stealing their business?
Stealing their lunch.
Yeah, exactly. And Cisco has a wide moat, meaning they've got some serious protection.
Okay, so I understand the concept of an economic moat, but what exactly makes Cisco's so wide?
So imagine like a castle with multiple walls and a really deep crocodile-infested moat.
All right, I'm with you.
That's Cisco.
Okay.
First, they have this incredibly diverse product line. They're not just routers and switches anymore.
Okay.
They've got cybersecurity collaboration tools, all sorts of IT infrastructure.
Gotcha.
Second, they've nurtured these deep relationships with their customers,
Okay.
especially those big enterprise clients that depend on reliability.
Right.
And then here's the real kicker. Their in-house Silicon One,
Yeah.
gives them a huge advantage.
Silicon One, is that like their own secret weapon or something?
Practically, yeah. You see, most companies buy their chips from external suppliers.
Right.
But Cisco designs and manufactures their own, giving them control over the performance and the costs.
Oh, I see.
It makes their products faster, more efficient, and potentially cheaper than the competition.
So it's a big deal.
It's a really big deal. It's a major reason why analysts believe Cisco is well positioned for long-term success.
That makes their 6% revenue decline even more intriguing. If they've got this wide moat and this really cutting-edge technology, why are they just killing it?
That's the million-dollar question, and it's
Yeah.
where things get really interesting.
Okay.
So remember their recent Q1 FY25 earnings call?
Yes.
Revenue was down, but they still beat earnings per share expectations.
Okay.
Their projected EPS is $3.65, which is actually pretty good,
Yeah.
considering the
Yeah.
circumstances.
Right.
And their PE ratio of 24.95 is within a reasonable range.
So the numbers tell a story of stability, even with a dip in revenue.
Yeah,
Could this be a case of short-term pain for long-term gain?
that's certainly a possibility. And to understand that, we need to analyze the potential growth drivers
Okay.
and the risks that Cisco faces.
All right, so what are we looking at here?
Well, one area where they're placing a huge bet is artificial intelligence, or AI.
Okay.
They've been on an acquisition spree,
Really?
snapping up AI companies and launching new products, including an AI server that's based on NVIDIA technology.
NVIDIA, those guys are the heavyweights of AI hardware.
Exactly.
That sounds like a serious commitment.
It absolutely is. And many analysts see AI as a potential gold mine for Cisco. Their own 2024 AI Readiness Index shows that businesses are feeling the pressure to adopt AI,
Right.
and fast.
Yeah, I could see that.
This suggests a massive market just waiting for Cisco to tap into if they have the right solutions.
Okay, so we've got this established giant with a wide moat, a focus on profitability,
Yeah.
and a big bet on AI. Sounds like a recipe for success.
Well, not so fast. There are some potential storms brewing on the horizon. Remember how we were talking about Cisco's reliance on U.S. federal spending?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of uncertainty going on with government budgets right now.
Right.
Any delays or cuts could really hurt Cisco's revenue.
That's a good point.
Mm.
And what about their core networking business?
Right.
The analyst report mentioned some potential weakness there.
Exactly. And while Cisco kind of blamed the recent dip on a tough comparison
Okay.
to last year's numbers,
Uh-huh.
it's definitely a trend worth watching.
Yeah.
If that segment keeps struggling, it could mean trouble for Cisco's overall growth,
Right.
even with their successes in those other areas.
So it's not all just sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
They've got those external factors to deal with,
Right.
plus internal challenges,
Mm-hmm.
like maintaining those crazy margins.
Yeah.
Is there any indication of whether those are sustainable?
Well, that's the big question that analysts are trying to figure out.
Okay.
Some are optimistic, pointing to Cisco's tight financial management
Okay.
and their focus on those high-value products.
Right.
But others are more cautious, suggesting that those margins might be tough to keep up
Yeah.
as competition heats up.
Competition? I thought we said Cisco had this impenetrable moat.
They do, but remember, no moat is invincible.
True.
There are always rivals trying to find a way in.
Of course.
And companies like Arista Networks and Juniper Networks,
Okay.
they're making some aggressive moves,
Mhm.
particularly in areas like cloud networking and software-defined networking.
So Cisco can't afford to rest on their laurels.
It's exactly.
Okay, so they've got external pressures, internal challenges, and hungry competitors.
Yeah,
All kind of snapping at their heels.
right.
Let's talk valuation. The report mentioned a fair value estimate, right?
Yeah, the analyst put Cisco's fair value at $50.98.
So that's lower than the current market price of $58.74.
Right.
So they're saying the stock is overvalued.
Slightly.
Okay.
So their analysis suggests that based on Cisco's financials,
Right.
their growth prospects, and just the overall economic climate,
Uh-huh.
the current price is a little bit inflated.
But wait, didn't you say some analysts are actually bullish on Cisco?
Yeah,
I thought there was a pretty optimistic price target from JP Morgan.
you're right. JP Morgan set a price target of $66,
Okay.
which is significantly higher than the current price.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that there's no one right answer when it comes to stock analysis.
I guess so.
Different analysts weigh factors differently
Yeah.
and come to different conclusions.
So how's a regular investor like me supposed to make sense of all this? Right.
It sounds like Cisco could either just completely take off or totally crash and burn.
Yeah.
What's the takeaway here?
I think the takeaway is that investing is as much about understanding the nuances
Yeah.
as it is about crunching numbers.
Yeah.
You know, Cisco's a complex company with a lot of moving parts. You've got their legacy business, their AI ventures, their financial discipline, their risks, and their potential. It's not just a simple buy or sell decision.
So what are you thinking?
Hmm.
If you had to put your money where your mouth is, would you invest in Cisco right now?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I am intrigued by their commitment to AI.
Uh-huh.
And I think their wide moat gives them a real advantage.
Yeah.
But I'm also a little wary of those macroeconomic headwinds
I hear you.
and the competitive pressures that they're facing.
So it sounds like you're kind of leaning towards a wait-and-see approach for now.
Exactly. I would want to see how their AI strategy plays out
Okay.
over the next couple quarters.
I'd also want to keep a close eye on those profit margins.
Yeah,
See if they can actually maintain them.
with all that competition.
Exact.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. Cisco has its strengths,
Right.
its weaknesses, its opportunities, and its threats,
Yeah,
just like any other company.
of course.
But there's one burning question that I think everybody wants an answer to.
What's that?
Will their bet on AI pay off?
I think that's the question that could make or break Cisco's future.
Mm-hmm.
If they can successfully use AI to drive growth and innovation,
Okay.
then they could cement their position as a tech leader for years to come.
Whoa.
But if they stumble, they risk being overtaken by some of those faster-moving competitors.
So it's a real nail-biter.
Yeah.
What should our listeners do with all this information? I mean, they're probably wondering if they should buy, sell, or hold Cisco stock.
You know, this deep dive has given you the insights
Okay.
and the tools to start your own analysis.
All right.
Don't just take our word for it. You know, really dig deeper into Cisco's financials,
Huh?
read up on their AI strategy,
Right.
and track their performance over time.
So this is where you, the listener, take the wheel.
Exactly.
We've given you the knowledge.
Yeah.
Now it's up to you to decide.
Yeah.
If Cisco actually aligns with your investment goals and your own risk tolerance. It's kind of funny. We started this deep dive talking about routers and switches.
Right.
And now we're talking about artificial intelligence and the future of tech.
Yeah, it's all connected, though.
True.
Cisco might have built their whole empire on hardware, but they're really trying to become a leader in the software and services that are really driving that next wave of innovation.
And that's what makes this whole analysis so interesting.
Yeah.
It's not just about looking at numbers on a spreadsheet.
Right.
It's about where's the tech world going?
Exactly.
And can Cisco keep up?
Yeah. Can they stay ahead of the curve?
So think about it this way. You as an investor, you're kind of betting on the future. You're deciding which companies you think you're going to win.
Right.
And with a company like Cisco, there's a lot of potential.
There is.
But there's also a lot of uncertainty.
A lot of uncertainty.
So we've laid out the facts.
Yeah.
We've gone through the risks and the opportunities.
Yep.
And we've even shared our own thoughts and hesitations.
Right.
So what's the final verdict? Is Cisco a buy, a sell, or a hold?
There's no magic 8-ball for stock predictions.
That's true.
And anybody who tells you they know for sure, they're probably trying to sell you something.
Right. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But surely there's something our listeners can take away from this.
Yeah.
What's the key insight?
I think the key insight is that Cisco is a company that's in transition.
Okay.
They're trying to bridge that gap between their old business and the future of tech. Their success really depends on whether they can make that AI strategy work, maintain their financial discipline, and navigate this really quickly changing market.
So it's not a sure thing.
Nope.
But it's not a lost cause either.
Not at all.
It's a company to watch.
It is.
It's a story that's still being written.
Exactly. And that's what makes the stock market so interesting.
I know, right?
It's a constant game of analysis. And prediction. And calculated risk-taking.
So well said. I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into Cisco Systems.
Sounds good.
We hope you enjoyed this analysis.
I hope so.
And most importantly, that it's giving you the tools and knowledge to make your own informed decisions.
Absolutely.
Remember, investing is a journey, not a destination. The more you learn, the more confident you'll be.
Exactly.
When you have to deal with the market.
That's right.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell.
With that bell icon.
So you don't miss any future episodes. We're always looking at fascinating companies and breaking down all these complex topics to help you become a better investor.
A smarter investor.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring.
Keep diving deep.